25 years of fearless and impactful journalism. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios here in Kokomlemle, a digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country, including ATL FM in Cape Coast, Radio Max in Takrady, and Jubilee FM in Ketai. It's on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, DigiBank, Let's Go, and Telesol 4G, just a touch. In this edition, Electoral Commission begins nationwide pilot of registration of voters. We'll bring you live updates of the ongoing exercise from our reporters across the country.
There's a sanitizer there too, and then you use it. The thermometer gun is there. It will be pointed and then take your temperature. If your temperature is above the normal one, then we have a place where we will keep you.
Chairman of the PNC, Bernard Mona, refuses to retract comments he made about the compilation of the new voters register, even if it cost him his life, as he honors police invitation.
I will not be intimidated. I will speak my mind. And as I said, if it is my life they want, I will donate it to them as a trophy.
We have details as members of the inter-party resistance against the new register and supporters face the police. Second Vice Chairman of National Association of Charismatic Churches describes as abominable directive by government for offertory bowls to be left outside church premises.
Place offering bowls at the entrance and exit points.
This business of putting the offering bowl outside. Look, there is nowhere in scripture that the offering bowl is outside. It is an abomination to God.
We'll bring you more reactions to government's directives on religious activities.
Ministers say that communion should be left outside. I was wondering how we, the Catholics, would practice this.
I am imagining how the distance between each other is going to be in church auditorium.
Even in the church, they should not be waving handkerchiefs. How do you churches abide with those laws?
We have sports.
Ghana Badminton Institute guidelines as they prepare to resume action following the president's partial easing of restrictions.
And on Spotlight today,
for 45 years there, it's a long journey. Bonibeka say the road hasn't been easy. By his grace, and I be any purpose or you know. As soon as say oh ye Bonica Bibi say bright the corner where you are.
we celebrate a music career spanning over 4 decades of a man we call High Life Maestro, Abrantie Amachidede, Ghana's leading icons of the genre. All that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apawu. And this afternoon, the Electoral Commission says it is ensuring the strict adherence of social distancing protocols to guarantee the safety of the electorate as it begins a nationwide pilot of registration of voters today. The Commission is embarking on the exercise to test the suitability of its equipment ahead of the December 7 polls. And Director of Electoral Services, Trebo Kweko, tells Joy News the pilot will hopefully expose the challenges the Commission is likely to encounter for rectification before the actual registration exercise.
You will need 2 guarantors and 1 witness, so you prepare them. Now, assuming there is a community with only 2 people with either passport or Ghana card, well, how it will work is that we identify them early, then those people will go, if it will be the 2 of us, we will go and register. And once we get our card, the 2 of us can guarantee for 10 people. Then the 10 people that we will guarantee, immediately they also get their cards. 2 each, so which means that 5 times 10, 50 people can be guaranteed by those people. When the 50 people also have, they are also gotten their card. 50 divided by 2, 25 times 10, to 250 also go. So in a day, to the 2 people who started, you could have guaranteed 40,000 people. Immediately you get your card, you qualify to guarantee. It's only when you are challenged that you will not be given the card.
Director of Electoral Services, Trebo Kweko, there. The exercise is taking place at the Commission's regional offices across the country, and we'll definitely be speaking to our reporters for updates on it. But let's start from Accra, and specifically Sapeman, where the Greater Accra regional office is located. My colleague Maxwell Agbagba observed the exercise. He's just returned. He joins me in the studio. Maxwell, describe to us how the piloting exercise turned out.
Well, it was smooth at the time that we were there. There was security personnel on the ground to ensure that the process, runs smoothly. But one thing that we couldn't miss that was conspicuous there was the strict adherence to the health protocol, the COVID-19 protocol. So social distancing, there were social distancing markings even there, and then for the sitting as well also, the people were spaced out. I've been speaking to the Greater Accra director of the EC, and he's been telling me more on this.
We have the Veronica bucket here. So the moment you come, you wash your hands, and then you dry it with a tissue before you come, and then join the queue. We know the markings we have made. Okay. There will be 1 meter apart.
Oh, okay.
You'll be 1 meter apart. Okay, so the table where you do the registration. Okay. So that you will not be close to, yes. Okay. And then when you get there too, there's a sanitizer there too, and then you use it. The thermometer gun is there. It will be pointed and then take your temperature. If your temperature is above the normal one, then we have a place where we will keep you, and then we inform the health authorities to come and handle you. But if your temperature is okay, then before you move on to the process.
Okay. This is beautiful, social distancing, voters registration exercise. But how sure are you that these directives, when you deploy to the various polling stations, where sometimes supervision will become difficult, these protocols will be adhered?
The staff that have been engaged, definitely there will be 1 or 2 who will be free at a point in time to ensure that these protocols are fully observed. Because you have 2 registration officers. When one is attending to the applicant on the table, the one can also go and check whether these things are being observed.
Do you have your word that your staff and then the public will come will be safe?
Sure. We want to ensure that we all observe it because health is important.
So that's Mr. Kwame Amoah in charge of the Greater Accra Electoral Commission. But you've also been speaking to some eligible voters who turned up for the exercise. What have they been telling you, Maxwell?
Well, they are happy, and they are saying that they are satisfied with the health protocol rolled out by the Electoral Commission to ensure a successful registration exercise. I've been speaking to them.
I personally don't have a problem with it because if the institution is guaranteeing social distancing and then the necessary equipment for the process to go on, why not?
I agree with assertions that we should use the old voters register.
Anyway, that's their view, so they are entitled to their views. But for me, I have no problem.
It's a civic duty. Are you voting in 2020?
Yes, please.
Voting in 2020. Okay. So what are you coming with? A passport or guarantor?
I'm coming with a guarantor.
With a guarantor? Because you don't have the Ghana card and you don't have a passport.
I believe there is a constitutional legal institute to take such decisions, and if the EC deems it fit to do it, I don't have anything to say about that.
So you are here because you are doing it. If you are not doing it, you will not be here.
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Would you be voting in December?
Sure, I'll vote.
You risk it to vote in December, or you are sure that with the protocol put in place, it's safe to do?
If the safety protocols are there and we are told they will follow it, I'll go ahead and then vote.
Some eligible voters interacted with my colleague Maxwell Ababa in the Greater Accra region. We head to the Ashanti Regional Capital, Kumasi, where my colleague Erastus Asare Donko has been monitoring the exercise there. Erastus, how has the turnout been and what have electoral officers been telling you?
So as at about 30 minutes ago, we had close to 40 people going through the process to register and receive the dummy card that was given them this morning. So I must say that it has been encouraging. There are still people in the queue of 3 rows at a time, seated in there, who go through the process. And we have one machine, biometric machine, working at the moment with 3 tables in line.
So at the entrance of the regional office, you see the poster or sign which indicates that no mask, no entry. Then when you enter, you find 2 armed policemen standing at the premises. Then when you get past them, you see this huge-sized Veronica bucket and washing soap plus other tissue papers and other things. We've seen a row of people seated, and the chairs have been arranged in such a manner that there is social distancing.
That's my colleague Erastus Asaridonko earlier. He filed that report earlier when he went to one of the centers. Now let's head over to the Volta region where correspondent Fred Kwame Asari joins us on the line with the very latest. Fred, what can you report from the Volta region?
Well, here at the Electoral Commission office in the regional capital, who I should say the exercise is going on smoothly. Right at the entrance, a Veronica bucket is stationed there where anybody at all who enters the yard is compelled to wash his or her hands. Right before you get access to the registration center, there is a gentleman stationed there who takes your temperature. Right after that, you go to the information desk, and then your biometric details are taken at the second desk, and then the third desk is where you are issued your demo voter ID card. But then I should say that there is an issue of the observation of social distancing that has been raised by the NDC voter vice chairperson in the person of Judge Bo. He mentioned that aside the observing of the other protocols, there are issues with the observing of the social distancing. So going forward, they should check that EC officials at the Voter Regional Electoral Commission offices should ensure that there is social distancing.
So that's my colleague Fred Kwame Asari reporting from the Volta region. Martina Bugri is our northern regional correspondent. She also joins us with some update of the exercise in Tamale. Martina, bring us up to speed on how the exercise is going, where you are.
The exercise is going smoothly, but there's a bit of a challenge here because they have identified battery issues and then the facial, the recognition of guarantors as the issues delaying some of the process. Currently now, they are unable to, people who want somebody to garant for them, they are unable to feed their data into their system, and so those people are unable to register. Apart from these challenges that the EC has recognized, I also spoke to some of the party reps here. We have the NDC party reps here, and they have several challenges they have identified. They said one person takes about 55 minutes to register, and they think that if that's going to translate into the general election, it's going to be a huge problem. Even though he says he's not officially speaking for the party, but that is the concern that he has seen, and he's spoken to the EC director about it. Apart from these challenges, when I entered I noticed that the spacing between the people was not that big, and so I questioned the EC director, and he says that they had issues with shape, and so they intend to extend more canopies into the area tomorrow so that people can have space to sit.
That's Martina Bugri. She's our Northern Regional Correspondent. This is the Midday News. You're on Joy 99.7 FM. Later on, at the end of the exercise on Top Story and Newsnight, we'll hear from the Electoral Commission on how this exercise has gone so far. We've covered the Greater Accra region, the Ashanti region, the Volta region, and of course the Northern Regional Capital. Back to Accra. Sounds of angry members of the inter-party resistance against the new voters register as they marched in solidarity with chairman of the PNC, Bernard Mona, earlier today. The PNC chairman has been invited by the police CID over comments he made about the Electoral Commission. Last week, he was reported to have said he will beat up EC officials if he's provoked or attacked by them. Today, Mr. Mona is refusing to retract the comments, saying he will continue to repeat it even if it costs him his life.
Person is called before the police for intimidation. I will not be intimidated. I will speak my mind, and as I said, if it is my life they want, I will donate it to them as a trophy, but I will never keep quiet.
So do you stand by your word?
Absolutely, and if I get the opportunity, I will stand on them.
Perhaps, is there upon sober reflection, would you say that the things you said perhaps were inverted? I mean, after that, you will kill each other and you will beat the EC. Upon sober reflection,
if Obribwain, who threatens to beat up, meet me at the registration center and beat me, I should keep quiet because I'm Jesus Christ. I am not. I will slap him multiply. If you attempt to use any weapon, a stick or anything on me, I will assume you want to kill me. I will land you to die before I die.
No, but of course, the Electoral Commission is only registering Ghanaians.
You can
ahead of the election.
It is subversion of the state when the Electoral Commission denies people their fundamental rights to register. You don't know that to be on the voters register is a fundamental human right granted by the state. And therefore, the Electoral Commission decision to exclude over 11 million people from the voters register amount to subversion of the state. The Constitution enjoins us to resist anybody who wants to subvert the state of Ghana.
Now, you are invited by the CID. You are massing individuals to speak to the CID.
I have not massed anybody. You came here on your own volition. Did I invite you here? You as journalists, you came here on your own volition. Citizens of Ghana who feel the same way that I feel decided that if the CID has invited me, they have to show solidarity. I cannot reject it.
That's the chairman of the PNC, Bernard Mona. My colleague, Kwesi Parker Wilson, has been interacting with him. He's still at the police CID. He joins us on the line. Parker, what's happening now?
So Emefa Bernard Mona finally has the opportunity to enter the CID headquarters where he's currently with his lawyers meeting the CID boss who invited him over the threat against the Electoral Commission. Now, in front of the CID headquarters, the protesters, in fact, defied the rain. It rained for about 30 minutes here, and they were still in the rain, asking the police to allow them entry into the CID headquarters so they can continue solidarity with the chairman of the PNC. But that did not happen. The leadership of the group, particularly the Deputy General Secretary of the ND, managed to convince them, ask them to stay behind. So now they are in at the median of the road and still chanting. We can listen to Peter Bomotikona when he was asking and pleading with them to adhere to the police directive.
But today we are here standing in support with our comrade Bernard Mona, who leads the inter-party resistance against the new voter register. He has been invited for comments they claim are injurious to the peace of this country. Right. We think that is completely unfair, especially to consider the things that he said. So we subscribe fully to the comments of Bernard Mona that if the Electoral Commission proceeds and they create chaos, and just like the Deputy Secretary of the NPP said, they attack anybody at the police station, we'll beat ourselves. When it comes to killing, we kill ourselves. And it's just as simple as that. You know, when the Constitution of the Republic gives you the right for self-defense. So I don't know whether the police are thinking that the Obribwai and Co and the invisible forces will come and attack people at the police station, and we'll clap for them for attacking us. They will shoot people at the police station, and we'll clap for them for shooting us, just like they did in Ayawa. Right. So that is not happening again in this country.
That's the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Peter Boama Otto Kuno there, speaking to my colleague Parker Wilson. Now, you're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. We have updates on our COVID situation as we speak. The numbers have increased. Joy News editor Fifi Kumsin joins me with details of that. Fifi, what's the situation now?
So we have confirmed cases 8,297, active cases 5,273, recovery so far 2,986, and 38 deaths.
Also, the deaths have also increased at this point, and that's the details that we are getting. There's more on that on myjoyonline.com, of course, on our social media platforms as well. Let's go on to some other stories now, because second vice chairman of the National Association of Charismatic Churches has described as abominable a directive by government for offertory bowls to be left outside church premises. His comments comes on the heels of government's directives to churches, mosques, and other religious facilities on the modalities for conducting services. Minister for Religious and Chieftaincy Affairs, Kofi Jamesi, says offering bowls should be placed at the entrance and exit points of churches as they reopen for members to give offering and tithes.
No crowd dancing and waving of handkerchiefs during church services. I hope it's clear. Sanitize microphones immediately after each use. All who speak and sing in churches, including pastors, Sunday school teachers, singers, and announcers, must wear face masks during service. Discourage singing in groups. Pre-recorded songs or solos should be used. Pre-packaged communion bread and wine should be picked up by members at the point of entry. Place offering bowls at the entrance and exit points. Encourage cash transfers via mobile money or mobile banking as source of giving offerings.
Well, the second vice chairman of the National Association of Charismatic Churches says it is against biblical principles to do that. Reverend Victor Say spoke to Love Offense Nana J.C. Owusu.
Maybe the government should leave it like that, but should increase for bigger churches the amount of people who are coming in, because there's a great misunderstanding on the 25% issue, whether it's got to do with the size of your church, and then you divide it into a fourth and then meet over a period. That would be easier. But we have the capacity to bring in 300, 400, 500 people at a time and send them out very carefully, because some of our churches can't take with the 1 or 2 meter directives in and out. We have the capacity to do that.
Okay, so it means you said you're going to experiment with 6 services on Sunday.
Yes, that is not even enough. It's because there are so many of our people who will be left out. Now, I have a major problem. What about those of our people who have not put their names on our information boards, where they get the information that they're handling? Now, if they're coming, am I going to sack them when the room is full?
You heard the second vice chairman of the National Association of Charismatic Churches, Reverend Victor, say not everyone is actually questioning aspects of the directives, though some churches have announced they will keep the auditoriums closed for now. General Overseer of Maker's House Chapel, Dr. Michael Budinya-Miche, has been explaining why he's taking a similar decision for his church. He spoke on the Super Morning Show.
I am of the firm opinion that in as much as we will want to make sure our people come together and congregate and we fellowship and all of that. Like we always say, these are not normal times. And because they are not normal times, I think it is just prudent that we allow some time to pass and see how best we can ease ourselves or our way back into service. But for now, I still think, looking at again the kind of things, the logistical challenge, I'm not even thinking about the adults only. How about the kids?
But some callers into the Super Morning Show have also been reacting to these new measures. But the Religious Affairs Minister also noted that any church or religious leader who flouts any of the directives will face the law.
Follow us.
A church or mosque or other religious bodies that violate the laid down protocols is dealt with appropriately. A church, mosque or other religious organizations in violation could be closed down. The leaders in church will equally be held liable. The district assemblies and monitoring teams are on hand to ensure compliance with the directives.
But host of COVID on the law here on Joy News, Samson Ladi Ayenene, says this posture by the minister does not have any legal backing.
You read out the minister saying that a church could be closed down. That one, we can say without any equivocation that the minister does not have any power whatsoever to make that claim. And I think that the media will want to avoid giving currency to that sort of excitement by the minister. The parliament passed a law, and that law prescribes the sanctions for disobeying or violating restrictions placed by an EI through the president.
Samson Ladi Ayenene, this is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Our top stories: Electoral Commission begins nationwide pilot of registration of voters. We're down on the grounds with some of our reporters on the situation across the country. Chairman of the PNC, Bernard Mona, refuses to retract comments he made about the compilation of the new voters register, even if it costs him his life, as he honors police invitations. Still to come on Spotlight today. We celebrate a music career spanning over 4 decades of a man we call Abrantie Amachidede, Ghana's leading icon of the genre. We also have sports after the break.
UMB was established in 1972 as the premier bank for the corporate and private sector in Ghana. From our very beginning, as the only Ghanaian bank serving all categories of businesses, we set a standard for excellence and innovation over the past 45 years. We've built a financially healthy and strong bank, demonstrated our commitment to our customers and to growing businesses, and exhibited originality and innovation at every turn. At UMB, our focus is built around people, service, products, and technology. These are the key to our present success. and our future triumphs. At UMB, we're poised to make a difference not only with our customers, but also in the banking industry. We invite you to share in our future. Our future starts now with you.
Time for sports now with Hans Mensando.
Ghana Badminton has instituted guidelines as it prepares to resume action following the president's partial easing of restrictions. The president on Sunday eased some of the restrictions aimed at reducing the spread of COVID-19, paving the way for the resumption of non-contact sports. Evans Yeboah is president of the Ghana Badminton Association.
I mean, it is very exciting for us because we've had a lot of engagement with the government regulatory bodies over the last few weeks, and this has enhanced the decision that was made. So for us, it came as a welcome news. What was also important for us is that it will enable us to start our training sessions, and the guidelines that we have issued to our own members yesterday also gave credence to what we need to do. For example, make sure that hands are washed and sanitized before you begin your game. Also make sure that you have your rackets and then your shuttlecocks are non-shareable. Okay. You also have to make sure that doubles play, it's also coming from the same household. So these are the summary of basically most of the enactments of guidelines that we have provided for our association yesterday.
Evans Yeboah is president of the Ghana Badminton Association. That's your sport.
Thank you very much, Hans. Now let's talk about education, because the sector minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, says consultations have been deepened with university administrators to enable final year students return to lecture halls to enable them prepare for the exit examinations in the wake of President Ekufuor-Addo's directive on Sunday. Now he says government is continuing to work with the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, to fully implement a program that enables teaching and learning to resume while strictly observing WHO protocols on COVID-19. Here are excerpts of his briefing from this morning's press conference.
We must reopen still with the social distancing and hygiene protocols in place. We must reopen with final year students, meaning those students in any institutions which have their final exams. So if you go to some institutions, there will be people ready to write a certificate for NVTI. If you go to some institutions, there will be some people wanting to write their final examination or were preparing for their final examination of an NAPTEX exam. So it is those classes that government intends reopening schools for to complete their years. When you come into the Ghana Education Service, those classes would include junior high school students who are about writing their BEC. It would include senior high school students who were just about starting their SSCE exam.
So that's Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, Education Minister. Meanwhile, authorities at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology say a management meeting has been scheduled for Thursday to discuss an effective way of implementing government's directive on reopening of the tertiary institutions. The matter is also on the floor of Parliament. Joseph Opoku-Gapo will give us details of that subsequently. It's time to join Becky with entertainment. We are celebrating High Life legends, right?
Yes. Now, Emefa, how do you survive in the music industry for more than 40 years? Well, only one man can tell. The evergreen High Life legend, Apawu Apawu, nicknamed the High Life Maestro, Iron Boy. Call him the King of High Life. He is on Spotlight today. We celebrate some of Ghana's music legends this week.
If I'm sleeping, I sleep with music. If I'm driving, I drive with music. So it's a very part of me.
Apawu Apawu started as a composer and vocalist with the Kumapim Royals, a band led by Akwesi Ampofo-Ejeyi. Before he formed his own band, the Apollo High Kings, in 1980, Apawu went on a brief adventure into Nigeria with his music.
My first recording hit, which was To Be a Man and Jealousy Machine, I recorded them in Nigeria and it became a very serious hit.
He would later dominate the high life scene in the 1980s and 1990s. Across generations, the musician from Agogo in the Ashanti region is admired.
The type of rhythms that I use is the kind of rhythms that my fans like.
From tours in Africa, America and Europe, Amachi Dede's music has marketed Ghana to the world. A career spanning over 45 years for any musician anywhere is a great deal.
We'll go into music for 45 years there. It's a long journey. Bonibeka said the road hasn't been easy. By His grace, and I be any purpose or you know. As soon as say, oh, ye, Bonica Bibi said, bright the corner where you are.
Of course, we will. Oh, yeah, Machi Dede, Iron Boy. We love Iron Boy, don't you?
I know what you wanted to say, but it's fine.
It's okay.
We celebrate Amachi today.
Of course, he deserves to be celebrated.
Thank you very much, Becky. We'll watch you on Joy
News today.
Shortly. Okay. And that's it for the midday news. You're on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Emefa Apawu. Thanks so much for your company. Stay safe. Dr. Mensel Tabil has living word.